Hot off the back of last week's launch of the new Beatz eMTB with the Bafang motor and the announcement yesterday of Trek's new Alloy Fuel EXE, on today's show, we've got two amazing new bikes.
Yeah, Alloy as well. We've got the Privateer E161 and the DaVinci E-Troy, which there's a bit more of a story to that.
And a subject which is very close to all of our hearts, souls, and also senses of humour, the question of the reliability of e-bike motors. And rolling.
And I'm in. Privateer have released their new E161. Now, it's not the first we've seen of their e-bike or their e-bike prototype. We probably saw the first one, 2021? And yeah, I mean, Privateer are a brand known for some pretty out there geo, or back in the day at least, but yeah.
I was going to say, because the geometry on this bike, 64 head angle, 79 seated angle, which is good, 446 chainstay, they're pretty average numbers for e-bikes these days, right?
You say that, the seat angle's quite steep, but again...
A degree
can make a lot of difference. But I'd say that, you know, it sits within that 160 sort of perfect, ideal geometry, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, I like, I really, as you guys might have gathered on last week's, on the channel last week, you had the Beatz eMTB, aluminium, less than £4,000 average.
That is a hot bike.
170 front, 165 rear, absolute fly machine. And new Bafang motor. But on this bike is the EP801 with a 630 watt hour battery.
Yeah.
£5,999.
That's not a bad price.
It's not. In relative terms, and there is, I do not think that there is a performance advantage all the time with carbon over aluminium. I think it's a really good looking bike, Adam.
I think so too, for sure.
And so too is the DaVinci E-Troy.
Yeah, now the DaVinci E-Troy is not the newest bike in their range, as it were, but the cool thing about this is they have made a big old statement saying that they're bringing all the manufacturing of their frames back to Canada. So this is aluminium frames from DaVinci made in Quebec. That's pretty cool. But again, there's a few other things to it that, tick off the boxes. So lifetime warranty on the frame.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Can't disagree with that. Again, it's using the 625 watt hour battery, but it's compatible with the Power More range extender. That's cool.
Okay, that's cool. Like as we saw at the launch of the SX motor from Bosch, you can now have like a modular system with the smart system from Bosch.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that quite a lot.
There's a lot of cool extras you can check on this, but
I think it's a great looking bike.
I think it's a very tidy looking bike.
Right, let's move on to a subject which sadly seems to be ever present with a lot of people, and that's the whole business of the reliability of e-mountain bike motors. Now, I know, to put this in perspective, I had a bit of insight into a dealer from across the English Channel last week who said that on average, in the last few years, they've been replacing, wait for it, over 1,000 motors per year. That is one shop. That is, I think it's unacceptable. But as you guys have frequently pointed out, it's something which is ever present. Adam, what can we do about it?
Well,
You've actually been at the front of this, haven't you? When you worked in the shop.
And there's definitely a heart and a need to be able to repair a motor, because I think reliability is one thing. You're going to eliminate so many problems, but you need to be able to fix the problems on the motor rather than just replacing it.
Well, this is what's been happening. They've been replacing rather than repairing. Which, unlike this throwaway society, we should be looking to repair things the same ways we do with cars and motorcycles and stuff like that, right?
For sure, and it's another part of the bike which a mechanic should be able to fix, in the same that you replace a bottom bracket, or you'd be able to replace brake pads or whatever it might be. So it's an integral part of that. And at the moment, I mean, for the most part, Bosch have got a kit.
They've got a kit.
It's a bearing, essentially.
We've actually done a video on the channel. Interesting comment, actually, Adam, when we featured the Beatz bike last week, and lots of comments from you guys say you can actually buy replacement parts for Bafang motors off the shelf in many, many sources.
That's great.
Which is great, right?
Yeah.
You can also buy a motor if you need to, but it's not about buying motors. Now, I actually visited a few years ago a company in Bergamo in northern Italy called Polini. Now, Polini are known for their upgrades to scooters and sort of less capacity motorcycles. A very interesting place to visit. On their new MX motor, they do an MX EP3 and an MX Plus, I think I'm right?
Yes.
Or EP3 MX and EP3 Plus.
Yeah.
And you said to us we're really interested in the fact that you can actually rebuild and get parts for this motor. Now, last week, Adam visited Chris at Berkshire Cycles, who's now selling the Fulga bikes, also from Milan, Northern Italy, and featuring the Polini motor.
Yeah.
Adam, this is great news for people. Right?
This is a big
It's a great
step.
motor. It's it's 90 newton meters. Got loads of great modes in it. It's reasonably quiet. It's compact. You can make great bikes. But Chris says the customer can go in the shop and get it fixed within half an hour.
That's the guarantee. He said sub an hour is how it takes to repair. And to be honest, while I was there, he did it. He did it right in front of me.
Really?
It's piece by piece, plug and play. You could replace every single component on that motor within an hour easily, half an hour if you're a bit more technically minded. It's part by part. Even the motherboard, even the electronic part that we as mechanics or bike people go, oh, I don't want to touch that.
Yeah.
You can change it. It's crazy.
I think we need to see more of it, for sure.
sure.
We need to see less of the throwaway kind of motor mindset, which seems to be prevalent at the moment. Folks, what's your thoughts? I'm sure you all might have experienced some kind of error or motor failure, or maybe just a minor part that's gone wrong, which could have been fixed.
Yeah.
Folks, let us know your thoughts. We've also got to remember here in the UK, we've got Performance Bearings down south, who does a fantastic job at fixing motors. I don't know what the situation is in, say, Germany or Australia or in California, but please do get in touch with us and maybe give some insight into anybody else out there who needs some tips on how to fix their motor. Yeah. Adam?
I think, to be honest, it's important to understand that these places do exist in countries. So yeah, we have it in the UK. We'd love to hear from yourselves. But also, how is the industry, how is the e-bike side of things going to change when the Right to Repair Act comes in, in Europe? So it's not just Polini and Bafang who need to be on the cusp of this. It needs to be everyone going forward. So yeah, we'll see what's to come.
Absolutely. Now, shifting our attention to some new stuff. And obviously, lots of you have been interested in motor gearbox units. Like we said on last week's show, I think we're actually slightly getting ahead of ourselves, chasing that, because we're still chasing motor reliability. I don't think we're quite there yet. So to go into motor gearbox units, let's kind of get there when we get there, so to speak. But,
and I see it in your comments from all of you guys out there. Reliability is probably more of an important topic at this point. It
is. However, there's some exciting new stuff in the pipeline, particularly from Ceramic Speed. Now, I met these guys at Garda. They hinted they got something in the works, and so they have with this 3D printed shaft drive.
Yes, orbit drive. It's cool. Again, it's kind of expanding on what exists. It's stepless. There is no indexed gears
like it
as off the bat, but you have the option to choose manual according to the guys. So I think it's a big step towards the right direction, but there's a few sort of caveats to that, shall we say?
Well, this seems to be a long way off.
Yeah, currently it's a blue 3D printed box.
Can I just say something? Now, we've been talking about motor gearbox units. I remember riding a milliard downhill bike. Crikey, it must have been at least 15 years ago. Now, the milliard bike was designed by a character called Alan Milliard. If you've not seen his YouTube channel, check it out. He's an absolute legend.
Incredible.
Alan bolted a Nexus hub above the bottom bracket. He had a hermetically sealed drivetrain go into the rear hub, which is encased. It was a single-sided swinging arm. I mean, Alan was making this 15 years ago. Where's the mountain bike industry been? Surely that technology should be a central feature of mountain bikes today. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent about mountain bikes, but this is kind of showing my age.
Yeah, he's saying riding the bikes 15 years ago.
Yeah, but it was technology which we should see now.
Very true, very true.
What do you mean showing my age? We know we're old. I can show my age in many ways as well, by the way. But listen, this leads to the possibility of single-sided swinging arm.
Yeah, it's it's shaft driven. That's the thing. We've seen belt, we've seen chain.
CX500.
Yeah,
that's showing my age. He doesn't even know what a CX500 is. Yeah, I shut you up,
yeah.
didn't it? I shut you up, didn't it?
Now, haven't I? But yeah, so shaft driven. And we saw it on Ceramic Speed's road setup a few years ago, shaft driven. Skeptics, but this feels like it's cool.
And they're a great company who make good parts. We saw it from Danger Home last week. Danger Home's had Ceramic Speed fiddling in his TQ box.
Yeah, as well as everything
TQ
else.
motor.
TQ box. God, get slapped for that. But it's cool stuff. I think everyone's trying to add a different element to how you deal with your motors. So now it's not just the internal gearbox, it's how the drive works, whether it be belt, chain, and now shaft.
Yeah.
Cool. See how it works on a mountain bike, whether it can be compatible with full suspension.
We'll see. Before we go into cool places, just been thinking of motor replacement. Would you say that maybe de-restricting your bike is the EPO equivalent of road cycling, and then maybe replacing your motor is like the blood transfusion of road cycling, right?
I don't know if we should go into that.
Okay.
So anyway, let's agree to disagree.
Look here. So we've got 800 watt hour battery here on Dennis's Giant Trans Advanced out in Vipava Valley, Slovenia.
Say that again.
Look at this, Adam. Chris, BMG bike, Typhoon Dream Build. Where is it though?
This is
Sydney Harbour.
Yeah, in the Festival of Lights.
And closer to home, Andrew's out on his white. Don't know where in South Wales. Oh, I'm going to guess.
You seem to know everywhere in South Wales. I've been there.
I'm going to guess, Andrew, that's up at the Pit Pony in Pit Ponies near Ystrad. I'm guessing. I might be wrong.
That was a lovely bit of Welsh phrasing there for you. But leave your comment down. See if he's right. Give us a nod in the right direction.
Show my age.
We genuinely love hearing what you guys have to say and the questions you guys have asked. So Steve, this is a good one for you. So this is from the Beatz video that you broke the embargo on you.
We did. Look, we just don't want to hold out on you guys. We just want to know what's out there.
You're so eager.
See if you're making the right decisions.
Chill, Steve, chill. Deep breath.
What's the question? What's the question?
The question is from Gary Ninquanez. I hope I pronounced that right. Looks good. One thing left unmentioned. The battery capacity.
630 watt hours and it's fully demountable.
Demountable. Removable. That's a better word for it.
Demountable. Removable. Call it what you will. You can take it out.
You can take it out, chuck it about.
Next question is, this is from Claire Williams.
Yeah, this is relating to the Danger Home video that we did, so on the world's lightest e-mountain bike. So Claire Williams asks, beautiful machine, would love to be able to get an e-bike like this. Wonder how long, but also what cost.
Claire, got no idea. Rhapsodist, where's the shock mounted? Well, the shock's mounted inside the frame. And then previous show, we've got JCECO59 referring to the SX Bosch motor. Does it help the range? Any idea on how much more percentage-wise? That's a great question. I think what my take out from that with the Bosch motor is, even though you got the 400 watt hour, you get the option of having a 625, you got a range extenders, blah, 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 blah. I forgot totally what I was going to say.
Showing his age.
No! Okay. No! Everyone's talking about range extenders. It's their way of making the bikes lighter. You know, less power, less battery, less weight.
More modular.
Let's come on to the modular in a minute. You can have the range extender, which are this big, but when the 400 watt hours are so small, why would you just not have two of those?
Yeah, I think
that's the way ahead, right? I'd have, so to answer your question, I'd go for two. To answer your range question, me and Adam are going to spend more time on the SX motors to give you a more accurate answer to that. And next up from Paul Britton. Being of the latter years, I'm with you, Paul.
Come on there.
I do like the grunt of a full power mode.
Don't we all?
Although completely understandable as to why someone would want light to mid-range or even low sis motor, as I do regularly work above 25 kilometers UK limiter. Could you tell me which motors have less friction to overcome once above the limiter? Yes, we can answer that question. There's some fantastic mountain bikes and road cycles on the market. I would recommend they were probably more suitable to ride to work than is an e-mountain bike, unless you have hills. If you have hills, I think it's an e-mountain bike or e-bike all the way. But you know what, Adam? I'm being totally honest with you, Paul. I think it's great, cycling around cities and stuff. A non-e-bike is a great thing to have, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. And I think if you're riding an e-bike because you're of the latter years, then
I know what you're saying.
I say that the e-bike is going to assist you for the most part. So it's over the limiter. It's always going to be distinguishable if you've got a higher power bike.
So to answer the question though, I think most motors today, certainly most of the full power motors such as Bosch, Shimano, Specialized, Yamaha, when you get over the limiter, there's very little friction.
Yeah.
What I will say is I think the TQ is little friction, the new Specialized SL is no friction, the Fazua is little friction. I would say maybe there's some of the lesser known brands do still have some friction in the system once you get up to the limiter, but all the big brands, I guarantee you, they're pretty good to go, right?
Yeah, I think it's just the difference in power. So if you have, say, an SX motor or a TQ motor, it's just less of an abrupt change in your assistance.
I think what you'll notice in all motors, they transition differently from 25 to 26. And one other thing is maybe have a look at your tyres. Maybe stick some thinner tyres on, some harder compound tyres.
God, are you turning into a roadie?
I'm already a roadie, showing my age.
He's got Lycra underneath.
I ain't got anything underneath, dude.
So I quite enjoy risque comments, something that's questions that keep the cogs whirring, as it were. We are in e-mountain bikes, so
I like this one. I like this one. I just seen it.
This is very much on the theme.
Cheeky monkey.
So on this week's question, we'd like to know: have you opened and repaired your own motor? Don't worry, we won't tell you.
Or maybe have you opened and attempted to repair your own motor?
Yeah. Was it successful? Wasn't it successful? Did you use the kit that was made for the bike, or did you find another way to sort out your motor?
I like it.
Cheeky. I'd like to see what you guys come up with.
Cheeky monkey. And this week's Bike Ball kicks off with a super nice for Richard, Canyon Spectral on in Hackettstown, New Jersey.
Beautiful.
I love the next shot, Adam. Robert, Levo expert in Croatia.
Yeah, that looks like a familiar quarry, doesn't it?
It does. Nice wine colour to that.
Beautiful.
Cascade components linkages. Hold on, he's
whoa, rewind.
Robert's increased to travel. He's going to 170 front and 165 rear.
Full custom, full kitted. Love it.
Galfa Shark 223 rotor.
Vorsprung Smashbot coil conversion for your forks.
Whoa.
Trick stuff brakes. This is primo.
Crikey.
And we were just, wow.
We were trying to get ahead of ourselves there.
That is...
It's good we slammed the brakes on. That's a nice bike.
That's a super nice. What are you on about?
Too late. Matt, Track Fuel, you're showing your age, Adam. You need to get faster. Track Fuel EXE 9.5 custom build in Christchurch, New Zealand.
That's the best name of a trail ever. Flying Nun. Super nice.
And what about I love a bit of hay action.
What's
I'll
that?
leave that. Simon's Rise. H15 Pebble. Just leave it, okay? Holster, North Essex. I'm going to go super nice. That's the end of the bike. Moving quickly on.
Hey now.
Hey now. Moving swiftly on. Thanks, folks. Fantastic submissions to the Bike Vault. And I love the custom thing bike there from Robert.
That is tricked out.
I was only kidding, Robert. Super nice.
So we have found a few of the coolest clips in e-biking, e-mountain biking on the scene now. So first and foremost is Spencer Rathkamp on his Levo SL. That is just a beautiful shot, Steve. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's cool. I've noticed on this list here, you have made one major omission to the Instagram for this week. Where's Tony Bow going up the stream bed?
Oh,
come on, showing your age. Showing your age.
I'll leave, that's
showing your age. Showing your age. Anyhow.
This is my last show, that's why.
Moving on. Adam, come on, back in here. The next one's a belter. And Who is it?
Mr. Matthew Davies, one of our lovely, lovely creators, who was actually featured in a video recently, ripping down Bike Park Wales.
And who happens to be a shredder, mate.
Shredder boy!
Shredder, mate.
And he's an exclusive e-mountain biker.
Yeah, on his Scott E. Ransom.
Beautiful.
And then Jim's shit, this looks familiar, Adam. I think that's got to be France. I'm looking at that. I've ridden down that gully a gazillion times if I haven't ridden it once.
You've ridden everywhere, haven't you?
I've ridden down that gully, that's for sure. That's in Leger for sure, right? James Shirley.
Yeah, let's check it.
Looking fast in his e-sommet. His e-sommet. James Shirley. James Shirley, we want to see you on the Mythique at the World Cup in Leger in a few months' time.
Hooking up those berms like that would be great.
Right, folks, coming up on the channel this week, if you got any questions or thinking about buying a mid-assist lightweight e-mountain bike, me and Adam have got all the goodies. We have got all the lightweight eMTB goodies coming for you on a one-off video on the channel on Sunday.
One time.
That's it for this week's show. Great fun. Got to come to an end. We'll see you next week. But in the meantime, please, on a serious note, please let us know your comments or any questions you have about the reliability or fixability of your e-mountain bike motor, and myself and Adam will dive in and try and assist.
Love to.
Bring the hammer.
Showing your age.